You might not know this, but I used to frequent online forums, more specifically an online forum called Reddit. You might have heard of it. When I first moved to Europe, to Germany, I used to get involved in as many groups and communities as I could, where everybody with the same experiences and going through the same things, and some people that could talk about it that would help me out, talk about some of the stuff that would help me out on my quest. All at the same time, I would get involved in as many of those as I could. And Reddit puts a lot of those groups and communities in the same place at the same time. So Reddit was a good place to frequent. I found myself going into some of these forums, and maybe I ignored it in the beginning, but I found that people had a lot to say about Americans and Americans in Germany specifically, because that's where I was most of my time. But Americans, just expats all around, expats all around, American expats all around the world. So that would include Asian countries and European countries alike, just places around the world, right? And I would go down these rabbit holes where people would just be saying these things about Americans. And here lately, I found myself getting back into Reddit. Now, I had put it to the side and I stopped doing it for a long time, mostly during like the COVID era. I kind of like just drifted away from Reddit altogether. But I found myself in the last, I don't know, month and a half or so, back on Reddit. And man, people are talking. There is a lot of stuff being said, not only about Americans, but like Americans and content creators and American content creators, and just a lot of stuff being said about expats, period. And I want to read a couple of these because I kind of got a little response. You know, the people, I won't put physical response. I won't type responses to these posts, but I got some responses and I got some thoughts on them. So I figured I'd just do a video, take a video and do some responses to some of these Reddit posts that I've found. All right, so this first one I found here it's called American Expats on Social Media Are the Worst People. Who, me? All right, so I'm gonna read this real quick. American expats on social media are the worst people. I'm talking about the American expats that whine, rant, and complain about how hard life is in America, how much it sucks in America, and that's why they left and everyone else should move too, and base their content off of how much better their current country is than the US. And most of their audience is like that as well. And yet, most of the prominent ones I see already seem to be independently wealthy or have cushy remote jobs that allow them to pick up and move so they aren't actually working a local job wherever country they are. Most don't speak the language or only know a few words. So first off, I don't know where they're finding these people, where most of the prominent ones they see seem to be independently wealthy or have cushy remote jobs, because most of the expats I know, American or otherwise, don't have that. I've met some expats that have come to the country that I'm in for a job, to do a job. And that is very few. That is not the majority, not even close. All right, so, and they're living off of an American income in a middle income country like Mexico or Thailand or the UAE. And they seem to be completely divorced from the actual lives of the vast majority of the people living there. I can agree with that last part, being kind of detached from the majority of the people living here, not for myself, but I can see how they can pick up on that. Because some people, I'll just speak for Americans. Some Americans do think that just because they moved away from something, they have the mindset of them moving, they're bringing everything or a lot of the things, a lot of the ways, a lot of the cultural things with them. And they forget that they're actually moving to a different culture that may maneuver and do things a complete flip-flop from what they did where you came from. I find it that Americans tend to struggle with separating the cultures and adapting to the cultures. Living off an American income in a middle income country. I don't know about most of the people living off American incomes in the country that I'm in. I don't know that to be the case. I kind of am doing that. But, it's what's actually helped me. And it's something that I've earned from time that I've put into something else. So I kind of am doing that. I swear there is an overabundance of these people on social media. They've always existed, but there seems to be a lot more of them now. People have the right to leave their country, and there's certainly stuff to criticize about the U.S., but I find most American expats to just be insufferable. Well, that's a little harsh, Be nice. Well, I guess this person is living somewhere where they're dealing with a bunch of people all at once that actually behave like this. Unfortunate for them. I don't know where they're from. I don't know if they're from the country that these expats that they see are coming into, or if they are an expat themselves and they're just, they see it, they pick up on it. You know how like if you buy a car, you tend to see a bunch of that car to where like at first, before you had that car, you never seen that car as frequently as you do after you bought it. I think that may be a situation what this guy or girl may be dealing with. But I don't know, man, maybe not judge. He did say most, he didn't say all, so I'll give him that. But I don't know if this particular rant or judgment can hold up with my experience and what I've experienced as an expat and what I see. Some of the things, not all of the things. All right, the second Reddit post that I found doesn't relate directly to me. From what I can see, it's from a woman speaking to women. I know women have to maneuver things a little bit different. I can't speak directly to that, but that's where this post comes in. And they titled it, "For those of you considering leaving the US, just do it." So the title itself is what drew me into it. But once I started reading it, I can see that it's from a woman's perspective to women. And it's kind of long. So it says, "I grew up in the US and I moved to Norway at 21. It opened my eyes to how balanced life could be and what a society is like when equality is taken seriously. One of the first things that struck me was no ogling. I could walk around without unwanted stares or comments that used to happen to me daily in America. Men are so much more professional at work. I am no longer constantly questioning their motives. University here is free, and there are a better mix of women in STEM fields compared to any other countries." 2 years ago, this was posted, okay? So, university is free here, and there are a better mix of women. For example, there are more female physicians in Norway than male physicians. Work-life balance is deeply valued. We have a 37.5-hour work week, not bad, and flexible working is the norm. If you are having a baby, you and your partner can choose between 49 weeks of maternity leave plus 3 weeks before birth at 100% pay, or 59 weeks plus 3 weeks before birth at 80% pay. Now, I don't know in the States for them to have these kinds of options. I know there are maternity and paternity leaves in the US. I just don't know if they're this much or if they have, options where you can choose this way of doing it or that way of doing it. And that's pretty cool. Fathers have to take a minimum of 15 weeks of paternity leave. A minimum of 15 weeks paternity leave. That's insane. I do not think that it's that way in the States. I'm relatively sure that fathers do not get 15 weeks of paternity leave in the U.S. Healthcare is basically free. You pay a small copay, around $30, for a doctor's visit. If you use more than $300 on prescriptions and visits, then you get something called Blue prescription. That means you don't have to pay for anything anymore. That's crazy. Baby-related care, checkups, and prenatal care is 100% free. If I'm not mistaken, Norway also has the lowest maternal death rates in the world. Kids' health care is completely free. So this whole paragraph is, if that doesn't catch people's attention, you ladies out there who are reading or watching this, if that doesn't catch people's attention, I don't know what will. All of that stuff is good. Good. And it's a flip-flop from the way things are in the U.S. They go on to talk about them giving birth to their son, and the vast majority of men here are raised to contribute equally from healthcare to cleaning and cooking. It is expected to split these duties equally. That isn't really a thing there. I don't believe in that anyway. But Norway has some of the strictest gun control laws in the world. There has been one school shooting here, no casualties, and one bad terrorist attack on the 22nd of July. This was 2 years ago. So there has been 2,000 plus school shootings in the US since 1970. Is it perfect here? No. But in my opinion, it's 1,000 times better than in the US and like 30 years ahead rights-wise. This is this person's opinion. I don't disagree with a lot of stuff they said so far. A lot of it. Let's keep going. My grandparents were Holocaust survivors who went to the U.S. for a better life. I love the U.S. and it breaks my heart to see it deteriorating. I hear this a lot. A lot of people say this. And I've seen the mind change and the mind shift of a bunch of people that I'm cool with who were so American that it's ridiculously crazy. I've lost friends because some people are just too American for their own good, right? So I can relate to that. If you have the chance to get out, do it. Some of the things that's one of the things I promote on my channel big time. Huge promoter of that. There are so many better places to live, places where women are seen as equals, not incubators, places where children's lives are worth more than somebody's hobby. There's an edit there, but we'll just keep going past that. If someone is sponsoring you in Norway, for example, if you get married, the minimum income they need to have is around $30,000 a year to bring you over. You can work at McDonald's and make more than that in Norway. So you can make 30K in Norway working at McDonald's, and that's enough to get you by. Now, there's things you have to do before to even get into the have the opportunity to even work at McDonald's. You can't just walk in there. But 30K a year is not bad for, that being all you need to, get into Norway. That's crazy. Norway is that's top on the list if I wasn't living where I am right now. Almost anywhere in the Scandinavian region is where I would be if I wasn't where I am right now. It's not just higher education that you can get a work visa for in Norway. You can also get a visa for being a waiter or working in tourism-related industries. Interesting. And a lot of other seasonal work as well. So it is really a lower threshold here than other countries. The immigration system here is considerably simpler than other countries and very modern. I haven't been keeping up, but I don't know how that's treating them. A lot of other countries, especially here in Europe, do have kind of a easy immigration system, and there's some things that there's some pushback. I'll just leave that at that from that being so easy. Anyway, I mentioned in the comments that I was extremely lucky to get the opportunity to move and know that not everyone will have the same opportunity. I didn't formulate what I was trying to say very well in my original post, but I almost didn't move when I had the chance. And my life would have been completely different if I hadn't. I just wanted to encourage those people who might have the chance or could get there to try. I'm not saying the process is as easy as just do it. It takes time, takes work, and it takes money. Yes. I agree with all of those. I needed around $1,200 for a visa and flights to get to Norway. That's not even that bad. I love the US and grew up in a family that talked about the American dream, but it was never a reality for us. Never a reality for me either. My family still struggles, and my family still struggles too. And some of them refuse to believe that things could be better in Norway than the US. Same. As I said earlier, it's from a woman's perspective, and I'm thinking that she's talking mostly to women who want to give living outside of the US a chance. This is very interesting. If anybody wants to rewatch this video and see how this person did it, I think they did a good thing, and I think that's very valuable information and a very valuable testimony from this person. The third post I found, it's not as glamorous. We hate that America is a cultural wasteland that regresses in time rather than advancing. Ridiculous wars between tribalistic social groups. I won't even get into that, but everybody knows that that's facts. That part, facts. This is a mechanic that hasn't been socially relevant since the times of the Roman Empire. Through sheer freaking numbers alone, America has turned itself into the major export of culture in the world. I talked about this in my Americanization video. I've talked about this before in other videos. People know, people see, all right? It is ruining entertainment and culture by just being large. The country is, I guess. The country is ruining entertainment and culture just by being large. Like a mindless, all-devouring demon that isn't even aware of its actions and thinks only of itself. America. And the pride, the cockiness of some Americans when they are presented with this fact is infuriating. I can understand you. I can understand you, man. I mentioned already that, I know people that just can't escape the mindset of being American for nothing. I don't know what it's going to take. I've all but given up on trying to get people to see my side of things. Almost. I just care so much that I keep promoting opening your mind. I just can't help but do that. But I feel what this person is saying, that it's just completely frustrating when you just can't get someone to break free of that closed-mindedness, I think it is. It's frustrating. The pride, the cockiness of some Americans when they are presented with this fact is infuriating. They consider how they live best by the simple fact that they have never experienced anything else. So facts, so true. And will proclaim that their culture is superior to all. I hate that. I think I hate that more than almost anything. Their way of life cobbled together by outdated immigrant customs, decrepit religious beliefs, and the worst education system of any developed country. I don't know about that. But I see what this person is saying. So this right here, I see where they're coming from. Now, they're not using such glamorous words about it, but I can't say that they're not speaking facts in their overall point. If they knew me, they wouldn't be saying this about me personally, along with other people, other expats, American expats that I know. They wouldn't be speaking this to them personally, but generally, I can see why they've come up with this. All right, so that is 3 Reddit posts that I just thought I would read and give my thoughts on. As much as I'm frequenting Reddit right now, I think I'll be finding much more stuff to talk about. And if I'm not going to put it on video, I'm going to be thinking it to myself, so I might as well put it in a video. I hope y'all enjoy this. I'll see y'all next time when I'm doing Reddit reads. Christopher here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we got new stuff. Check it out if you like. Talk to you guys in the next video.